Hey everyone, it's Kathy here. So just going to take a look at sensory perception as we get to know our senses and how this can impact your child, particularly if they have a neurodiversity. So we all have sensory perception, and it's how we recognise and understand what we see, hear, touch, taste and smell in the world around us. It can shape our daily experiences and even our interactions. So if we think about which senses you're using right now, so obviously we typically recognise these 5 primary senses: vision, hearing, taste, smell and touch. And each sense provides a unique level of information about how we're interacting in the external world and how that contributes to our overall sensory experience. But actually, there are 8 senses of the human body that's recognised currently. The proprioception is our awareness of our body's position and movement. We have interoception, the awareness of internal body states. So this is when we will be aware if we're hungry, if we're thirsty, if we need a toilet. The vestibular senses is our awareness of the balance and spatial awareness. So together these senses will work in tandem with the 5 traditional senses that we recognise to really provide the full understanding of our body state and how it interacts with the environment around us. So, the human sensory system is crucial for our survival. It helps us protect potential dangers and the opportunities in the environment around us. So it can enrich our experience, influence our emotions, our memories, decision-making processes. So you can really see all these different things that the human sensory system is responsible for. So this includes our sensory receptors, our neural pathways, the brain regions responsible for processing sensory information. So we're taking in and making sense of the world by translating it into meaningful perceptions. So let's think about sensory perception. It's not merely a passive reception of stimuli, it is actively shaping by all the different elements around us. Consider how your mood or environment might colour your interpretation of a sound or sight. So the saying getting up on the wrong side of the bed not allow you to recognise some of the good things that are happening. So these influences can lead to unique perceptions in each individual, and that's what makes our experiences profoundly personal. So if we delve into these factors, it empowers us to better understand not only ourselves, but those around us as well. So vision, it's not just about seeing, it's a fascinating interplay of light and the brain's interpretation. So have you ever wondered how your eyes transform light into vibrant images? So this remarkable process allows us to engage with our surroundings, enriching our lives in countless ways. From identifying colours to recognising faces, our eyes are indispensable tools in crafting our reality. So the human visual system is a remarkable network encompassing the eyes, the optical nerves, the brain, and intricately designed to interpret light. So have you considered the journey light takes as it enters through the cornea, adjusts through the lens, and finally reaching the retina? So once it gets here, the photoreceptors transform this light into neural signals, and it's enabling our brain to decode, perceive the vibrant images around us. And this seamless process is vital for our interaction with the world around us, making our ability to see not just functional, but really truly astonishing. And then visual perception. It isn't just merely seeing. It's the dynamic journey of the brain interpreting the visual input. How does our mind transform mere light into vivid tapestry of our environment? So this intricate process harmonises colour, depth, motion and form, and it allows us to navigate and understand our world with proper clarity and richness. Every glance holds a story, inviting us to engage deeper with our surroundings. So, our perception of the world is intricately shaped by the sensory stimuli acting as gateways to our experiences. So how do these stimuli influence our behaviour and interactions? Each sense plays a unique role, transforming raw data from the environment into a vivid tapestry of perception. By understanding the processes of detection, processing, and adaptation, we can enhance our awareness and navigate our experiences more effectively. Even things like colour. Colour is the aspect of things that's caused by differing qualities of light, being reflected or emitted by them. So to see colour, you have to see light. And when light shines on an object, some colours bounce off and others are absorbed. And our eyes only see the colours that are bounced off or reflected. So at the heart of our interaction with the world lies our sensory stimuli detection. So this first step involves our sensory organs waking up to the myriad of signals in our environment. So have you ever considered how a mere sound or scent can evoke a powerful memory? And the intricate dance of sensory receptors activated and their messages racing to the brain is nothing short of remarkable. It sets the stage for the complex tapestry of perception and understanding that shapes our every experience. Even our levels of sensory stimulation vary. For some people, they can hear things that other people wouldn't even recognise. So sensory processing is the brain's dynamic approach to interpreting the world around us. It's not merely about receiving the data. It involves critically evaluating, organising, synthesising the sensory inputs to craft our reality. So have you considered how these signals from sound to touch shape our daily interactions? If you are someone that doesn't like the sense of touch, it would be really hard to manage everyday interactions with others. Even wearing clothes can be overwhelming. This intricate orchestration allows us to react to our environment, from enjoying a warm hug to savouring a delicious meal. Understanding this process can transform how we relate to our senses and just how much they impact our everyday life. Sensory adaptation is fascinating. It enables us to thrive in a world filled with constant stimuli. Have you ever noticed how you actually stop feeling your clothes after a while? Unless you are heightened sense of touch. This innate ability of our sensory receptors diminishes their response to unchanging stimuli, allowing us to sharpen our perception of what matters. So we can merely forget about even where we're sitting or stood and just focus on what we need to focus on. But imagine navigating everyday life without this adaptiveness. Our focus would be overwhelmed. By selectively tuning into new experiences, our senses become windows to novel information, enriching our understanding of the environment around us. So, let's unlock the potential of your senses through mindfulness and integration techniques. Sensory meditation focuses on engaging the senses to achieve a state of calm and awareness, promoting mindfulness and sensory connection. Examples of supporting strategies for different environments. At home, we could set up a sensory corner, have comforting sensory items such as a soft blanket, toys, or calming music, and use a visual schedule for daily routines to reduce anxiety around transitions. Be mindful of food textures or strong smells that might be difficult for other people to tolerate. At school or at the workplace, try to give yourself plenty of sensory breaks in between tasks, particularly if they require a lot of focus. Create a quiet space for the person to retreat if they've become overwhelmed, and use noise-cancelling headphones or allow for flexible seating arrangements. And in public spaces, prepare in advance for visits to crowded or loud places by using headphones, sunglasses, or other sensory tools that you know would help you. Having a calming kit. So we could have snacks, make sure you've got plenty of water, fidget toys, or a soothing app. Maybe do a pre-visit preparation so you can let the person know what to expect. When would it be the most noisy? When would there be more crowds? So they can mentally prepare. So common types of sensory processing difficulties. Some people have over responsiveness to sensory. So this is the hypersensitivity. This person reacts strongly to sensory stimuli that might not bother others. So for example, they might find bright lights, loud noises, or certain textures overwhelming or even painful. We can also have the sensory under-responsive. So this is the hyposensitivity. And this, the person might not recognise any sensory stimuli or may seek out extra sensory input to make them feel grounded. So for example, they might not react to hot or cold temperatures. They might seek out strong smells or textures to wake up that sense. And there's sensory seeking. The individual actively seeks intense sensory experiences to regulate their sensory system. This could include behaviours like jumping, spinning, or touching everything. And sensory discrimination problems. So difficulty distinguishing between different types or intensities of sensory input. So for example, a person might not be able to differentiate between the feeling of different textures or different sounds. But let's recognise the signs of sensory processing difficulties. So these are some of the signs and behaviours that you might notice. So it could be avoidance behaviours, so avoiding loud places, refusing to wear certain fabrics, maybe seeking behaviours, so the spinning, jumping, making repetitive noises. The difficulty focusing or following instructions because there's just too much sensory overload. Frequent meltdowns or shutdowns in response to sensory stimuli, an over or under reaction to pain, temperature, or touch. So here are a few of the suggestions for supporting sensory difficulties. So if we can create a sensory feedback environment, it will help to meet the sensory seeking behaviours. Sensory tools and support to know how to meet their needs, offering plenty of breaks, being clear and consistent in the routines so it's predictable, support the emotional regulation, and allow opportunity to talk about how they're experiencing the world around them. Encouraging that self-advocacy and communication, but also seeking that collaboration with professionals if you feel that necessary. So to conclude, empathy and flexibility is key to support someone with sensory processing difficulties. It requires patience, empathy, and a willingness to adapt. It's important to recognise that sensory experiences are unique to every individual, and it could be worth completing a sensory profile at home, at school, at work, in all the places that you would generally go to. Be open to adjusting the environment and the routines to support the person's needs. Encourage open communication. Always validate that person's feelings because we don't know what's happening for them. And by fostering a supportive and flexible environment, we can help individuals with sensory processing difficulties feel more comfortable, confident, and capable in their everyday lives. Thank you.